Hello, my name's Carly Ann, and the question that I'm answering today is how to not take ghosting personally. So someone asked me this over on my Instagram weekly Q&A. So today I'm going to give you some top tips on how you can either stop or help yourself to not take it so to heart if and when you do experience ghosting, because unfortunately it is something that's quite common if you're out in the dating game. So if you have ever experienced ghosting, so someone that sudden contact, them disappearing, usually very suddenly, then, I mean, there is a slow ghosting as well, but chances are that it can be really hard on a person. It can be confusing, painful, and it can really knock your self-esteem. So if you were to Google or to look up the top tips for how to cope with ghosting, then you're going to come across very quickly the tip around, well, don't take it personally. Don't make it about you. Don't make it about your worth. Know that it is more of a reflection of this other person, what they're going through, their communication skills, their ideas, their relationship template, things like that. There's definitely, in fact, I'll tell you about this in a minute, but there's definitely a way of understanding, and I think even predicting the type of people that are more likely to ghost. I'll come back to that. What I want to cover is then some top tips around, well, how do we not take it personally? Because that's all great advice. And we know it's very important. We know it's good for our self-esteem. We know it's good for us to be able to keep on going in the dating world, to not take it personally. But how? How do you stop it from knocking you to the ground when you experience that kind of rejection? So let's dive in, and I'm going to give you 4 tips. Now, first and foremost, before I forget this, I want to give you the opportunity to join in on my masterclass. It's led by me. It's going to really help you to understand people who ghost, why they ghost, and also give you some top skills so that you can move on quicker if you happen to experience being ghosted. It also might even help you understand why you ghost sometimes, or why you find it difficult to send that ending message or have that kind of conversation. So not only are you going to understand why people respond so differently to rejection and to ghosting, it's also going to help you to understand the why. Why is that the choice, consciously or unconsciously, that people make when it comes to ending something, especially something that seemed to be going well, where perhaps you even thought feelings were involved. So how can someone suddenly switch up? So in my masterclass, it's going by the name of How to Get Over a Breakup and Rejection Based on Your Attachment Style. We are going to be diving into those questions. You're going to really walk away with education, sense of community, because that's what you get in my masterclasses, but also tools and strategies to help you to be able to build up that resilience, to enhance the tips that I'm going to be talking about today so that you don't take things so personally. So you're going to find that masterclass inside my membership, Follow Your Fire. This is the membership for attachment styles and rediscovering yourself. There are plenty of people inside this space, this online community, that are just like you, just like me, and that are there to support each other. There's so many masterclasses, resources, tools, experts that you can dive straight into immediately as soon as you sign up. It's all focused around attachment healing, like repairing relationship with self, so that you can have healthier, more meaningful and long-lasting connections with others and with yourself. Next up on how to not take ghosting so personally is to not try and stop that feeling, the sting, the upset, the hurt. Sometimes it's when we try and suppress it and push it away that actually it lasts longer, this experience. So really allowing yourself to feel you are human, and of course part of you is taking this personally, especially if there is already a history and difficulty with experience around rejection, your self-esteem, your self-worth. It is possible that this is going to hit you and really, really hurt. What we don't want to do, and this is the work that I do with my clients a lot, is we don't want to dismiss that part of you that is taking this personally. So The ability to just offer that understanding, that knowing, that love, that hope to that part, it's actually really powerful. So even just a little conversation with yourself, acknowledging that part of yourself, offering that kind of compassion, don't undervalue that. It can be really powerful. Next up, what I invite you to do is to see if you can bring in other ideas, new information about what might be going on here, about why people go. So you'll find this in the masterclass about what other people are going through, other experiences that you've had, dating experiences where you haven't been ghosted, experiences where you haven't been rejected. And if you feel like you can't find that, you might have to dig really deep, and you don't only have to look at romantic relationships, but see if you can allow yourself to consider the idea of having other experiences. Because if you get so fixated on just this experience and what this means about you, you're going to really make that mean something. You're going to have to intentionally open up the idea of letting in other experiences that don't just focus in on this ghosting and being rejected. And you can do this through journaling, through writing lists, through having conversation. It can be really useful. Next up gives you some power. So what I would advise you to do is actually to take a moment to list the current behaviors and thoughts that you are currently experiencing, that you are associating with taking this personally. So if you're on a loop, and if you're just thinking of other memories, other times that have confirmed, yep, I get ghosted, this is what happens to me, then see if you can just make some small shifts. So identify what are the patterns that are enhancing the idea of taking it personally, and see if you can just make some slight shifts that will move you away from perhaps unhealthy strategies and towards healthier strategies in this moment. If you want some help with that, then download my free masterclass, Attachment Styles the Next Level, because I really talk you through a cycle that's going to help you to be able to hone in a little bit more on your own unique experience. And next, I want you to notice in your body how you feel when you experience rejection. See if you can notice where you feel tense, where you experience certain emotions. What energy is it that's flowing through your body? Perhaps you can notice where it is that you feel distressed or upset by this experience. When you're aware of this, you can go back to that other tip of acknowledgement and acceptance and understanding, but also see if you can bring in any other sensations into your body, just to give you a little bit of space. Perhaps you might see where you can feel some sort of sense of freedom, or any neutral feelings, anything that's just okay. See if you can just expand your physical experience to notice if there's anything else going on, so that you don't get so trapped in what it feels like to be ghosted. Because sometimes when we just get stuck in that emotion, it can be really hard to function, to move through our day. And that's when we might crash. We might really feel like I can't even move, I've got no energy, or we might be the opposite. We might go into like a state of panic. So see if you can just invite in any sort of space for some more neutral feeling, so you don't just get stuck in this one body experience. So they are my top tips for how to not take things personally. If you have tried things like this, if you know, I really do struggle to make this shift, it might be that there's something a bit deeper. It might be that there's something that you're holding on to. It might be that you have been through certain things where it makes this really difficult for you, and the past really does get triggered in these moments. Then absolutely check out the membership. There is support there for you. Check out working with me one-to-one. You don't have to stay in this pattern. It's so freeing when you are able to take the steps to move out of these cycles that you see yourself in. I hope you found that useful. Do not forget, you're enough, you're lovable, you are so worthy, and you're irreplaceable.